Imagine this happened right now. 1 second, you're watching this video. The next, time stops. Not slows down, not freezes for a few people. Everything stops. Every person on Earth freezes exactly where they are. A soccer ball hangs in midair. Rain turns into millions of tiny floating diamonds. A hummingbird is locked in place, its wings suspended forever. Even the second hand on every clock refuses to move. It almost sounds amazing. You could finally pause life, catch your breath, maybe even avoid that awkward conversation you've been putting off for weeks. Movies love this idea. Someone freezes time, walks around the world, steals a donut from a bakery, draws funny mustaches on people, and then presses play like nothing happened. But there's one enormous problem. The moment you think about it, the entire fantasy begins to fall apart. Because if time has truly stopped, how are you still seeing any of this? Think about it. Your eyes don't magically create vision. They need light. Light has to travel from an object into your eyes. Then signals travel through your brain so you can understand what you're looking at. But if time has stopped, light can't move. The signals inside your brain can't move. Even your heartbeat can't produce the next beat. In fact, the very thought you're having right now would freeze before it could even finish. So here's the first paradox. If time stops for everything, you shouldn't be able to notice it at all. You wouldn't think, wow, time has stopped. Because forming that sentence requires time. It's like pressing the pause button on a movie. The characters inside the movie don't realize they're paused. They don't suddenly start walking around the frozen frame. They're simply frozen. Which leads to an even stranger question. What if the only way to experience a world where time has stopped is for you to somehow exist outside of time itself? And if that's possible, what exactly would that world look like? So let's imagine something impossible. Somehow, against all the laws of physics, you're the only person who isn't frozen. Time has stopped for the entire universe, except for you. Sounds incredible, right? You'd probably start by doing what everyone secretly thinks they'd do. Walk through empty streets, peek inside expensive houses, take a selfie next to a frozen airplane, maybe even grab a slice of pizza before anyone notices. Although, let's be honest, if time has stopped, nobody's going to leave you a 1-star review. It feels like you'd have unlimited freedom. But within your very first step, everything goes wrong. Because walking doesn't happen by magic. Every single movement depends on billions of tiny events happening every second. When you lift your foot, your muscles contract. Your nerves send electrical signals. Your heart pumps blood. Oxygen reaches your cells. Your lungs pull in air. Every one of those processes depends on time moving forward. Now think about the air around you. Air is made of trillions upon trillions of molecules flying in every direction at incredible speeds. If time stops, those molecules stop too. That means the air becomes completely motionless. You couldn't breathe, not because there's no oxygen, but because oxygen could never move into your lungs. In fact, your lungs wouldn't even be able to expand. Now let's make things even stranger. How do you see the world? Light. Everything you see is actually light bouncing off objects and entering your eyes. You're not seeing the object itself, you're seeing light that has traveled from it. But if time has stopped, light can't travel. That means the instant time freezes, the entire universe goes dark. Not dim, not cloudy, completely black. Even if the sun were shining a second earlier, not a single new photon could reach your eyes. It's like someone unplugged reality itself. And there's one final problem. Suppose you somehow force yourself to walk. Every step pushes against the air. But frozen air wouldn't flow around your body. It would behave more like an invisible wall than empty space. Imagine trying to run through solid glass. Now imagine that wall exists everywhere. Suddenly, that fun movie scene where someone casually strolls through a frozen city doesn't seem so realistic anymore. In fact, if time truly stopped, you probably wouldn't make it even 1 second. Not because something attacked you, but because the universe itself would refuse to let you exist. And yet, there's something even more terrifying than darkness or not being able to breathe. What happens to the entire planet when everything is trapped in that frozen moment forever? Now imagine that impossible moment lasts forever. The entire Earth is trapped in a single instant. A massive wave rises in the middle of the ocean, but never crashes. Lightning stretches across the sky, but never strikes. A bird remains suspended in the air, its wings frozen halfway through a flap. Somewhere, a child is laughing. Somewhere else, someone is crying. Neither moment will ever end. It almost sounds peaceful. A world with no traffic, no deadlines, no wars, no arguments. But it's not peace. It's the complete absence of change. Nothing grows, nothing heals, nothing ages. Nothing is ever born again. Think about your favorite song. Music only exists because one note comes after another. If every note played at the exact same instant, it wouldn't be music. It would just be noise. Life works the same way. Every heartbeat, every sunrise, every conversation, every memory exists because one moment follows the next. Take away time, and you're not just stopping life. You're erasing the very thing that makes life possible, which leads to a much bigger question. If nobody can experience a frozen universe, did time actually stop? Or would the universe never even realize it happened? But here's where the idea becomes truly unsettling. Let's say time stopped for one entire hour. When it finally started again, would anyone know? The answer is probably no. Because from your perspective, there was never an hour. One moment would instantly become the next. There'd be no memory, no missing time, no strange feeling that something had happened. It's like blinking. You never experience the instant your eyes are closed. Your brain simply connects one moment to the next, as if nothing happened. A universe where time stops might work the same way. It wouldn't feel like an endless pause. It would feel like no pause at all, which raises a disturbing possibility. Maybe the universe has already paused billions of times, and we'd never know. Because if nothing can observe those missing moments, did they ever exist in the first place? And that leads to the biggest question of all. What if time isn't something that flows? What if it's something we've imagined all along? So, what is time? We measure it with clocks, calendars, and birthdays. But none of those actually create time. They simply measure change. A clock moves, the earth rotates, your body ages. Everything we call time might just be our way of tracking how the universe changes. So maybe time isn't a force flowing through reality at all. Maybe change is the only thing that's real. And if that's true, then a universe where time stops isn't just impossible. It's a universe where nothing exists anymore. So the next time you glance at a clock, remember, it may not be counting time. It may be counting the endless changes that make your life and the entire universe possible. And perhaps the greatest mystery isn't whether time can stop. It's whether time was ever there to begin with.